Hey, what is happening, guys? Rules for Rebels here, and today we're going to be talking about the About Us page of your e-commerce website. And I'm talking specifically about Shopify because I like using Shopify, but the same holds true whether WooCommerce, Big Cartel, whatever. About Us page is kind of where you communicate to your customer what you're about, what your company's about, why you're involved in the niche that you're in, tell people why you're passionate about that industry, etc. I think it's a page that's very often overlooked by people when they're throwing together their e-commerce site. I think a lot of people don't put a lot of thought into it. It's just like 3 sentences. Like if you sell drones, it's like, we are Z-Tech Drones and we sell drones. But you don't talk at all about the passion behind why you started that shop. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys 2 great examples of good Shopify About Us pages that really make you want to buy from these guys. It shares their story about why they're in love with the niche or the hobby that their store focuses on. They incorporate pictures and videos showing not only them involved in that hobby, but how the company actually started up. And it just really makes you want to support them. And with everything being so social these days, social media, social networking, everything else, and with content marketing, which I talk a lot about, it's really about building a connection with your audience, with your niche, with your customers, and that's really what the About Us page allows you to do. The reason so many people run to Amazon every time they need something is because they know Amazon, they know they can trust Amazon, they know how the return policy works, etc. You don't have that built-in trust with your smaller store, right? So basically the About Us page is your chance to get that across to the customer. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the video that you're about to watch. One thing I wanted to point out, I know I have a tendency to ramble, so it's at the 17-minute mark that I actually start showing the 2 good examples of good About Us pages and the 1 bad example of an About Us page, or there might be 2 bad examples. But 17 minutes is the mark where I do that. I really want you guys to see that. So if you know, I know not everybody has 20 minutes or whatever to sit and watch my videos. So I would encourage you, if you're not going to sit through the whole thing, fast forward along to the 17-minute mark so that you can see the examples that I give. And I think that really highlights the rest of the talk that we're going to talk about today. But I do have a little PowerPoint presentation talking about Us pages, why they're important, how to do them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video you're about to watch. If you're short on time, skip to that 17-minute mark to see the examples. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next video. Curious to hear your thoughts. Also, if you have a good example of a landing page, of an About Us page, or if you want us to take a look, myself and whoever else watches this video, if you want us to take a look at your About Us page and critique it, feel free to drop a link in the comment section below as well. So we'll get to it, guys, and thanks for checking out the video. Hey, what is up, guys? Rules for Rebels here. Today we're going to be talking about a very often overlooked part of your website, but one that may be causing you to lose sales. And or one that may be able to get you more sales if you improve it. So we're talking about Us pages. Now, I kind of specifically designed this convo towards Shopify because I use Shopify, but really the messages and the sentiment shared in this video can be used whether you're on WordPress running WooCommerce, whether you're on Shopify, whether you're on Big Cartel, Volusion, BigCommerce, etc. So we're going to be talking about how to use your About Us page to increase e-commerce sales. And later on in this video, I'm going to show you 2 examples of what I thought were very good About Us pages. And I actually had an example of a really bad About Us page, but it looks like the site isn't live anymore. But let's get into this. So the About Us section of your online store is extremely important, and if used correctly, will increase sales. So on my website, on my business's About Us page, we talk about how we pride ourselves on customer service. We talk about how, unlike a lot of other sites which don't have 800 numbers, don't have emails, don't have responsive customer service, we're available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 by phone. We have an 800 number so people can call us very easily. We have live chat on our website, so in real time we can communicate with customers. We have contact forms so our customers can contact us. So we're very available to our customers. And, I was actually going to make a video on this topic, but my, what's the word I'm looking for? My view of e-commerce is to play the long-term game. I'm not really worried about losing some money on a customer short-term because a lot of times if I'm willing to accept a return, if I'm willing to go above and beyond and help a customer out, I have a customer for life. They're going to tell their friends, etc. So in the About Us page on my store,
I try to get across how much we value our customers and how important customer service is to us. Now, not every business is going to allow you to like really express your passion. And I'll give you an example. Like if you have a site about camping and you and your family are avid campers and that's how you guys spend time with each other and that's how you guys relate to each other, and you've struggled with frustrations with buying camping gear, finding out that it's cheap or doesn't work how you want it to, and that's what inspired you to open up your camping shop, and your goal is to provide your clients with the highest quality materials which you've personally used and tested and which you find to be the best bang for the buck, that's very easy to kind of share your passion with your customers, right? If you're selling phone chargers or something like that, like it still is good to stress, your focus on customer service and other things, but you're not going to be able to have the same kind of like passion behind selling like phone chargers or a USB cable as you are with something that's like more hobby based or whatever else, right? So just keep that in mind. Why is just to kind of show why the About Us page is important, people care about who they buy from. If you want proof people care about who they buy from, look at like the Chick-fil-A controversy or really any controversy when a company comes out and, I think with the Chick-fil-A thing, the guy just said he didn't believe in gay marriage. And like you had all the gay and LGBT rights people like, marching on Chick-fil-A's. And then you had also had all the people, and this isn't a great example because it's not really people passionate about Chick-fil-A so much as it is about a cause. But just to show how much people will support people like them or people who share views like them and how much people will go against people who don't. I mean, look at that Chick-fil-A thing, for example. Like I think at the Chick-fil-A by my house shortly after that incident happened, not only did you have people protesting there, but you also had an hour and a half long wait to eat at Chick-fil-A because all the people on the other side of the issue wanted to support Chick-fil-A, right? Look at companies like Tom's. They donate free shoes to basically for every pair of shoes that's purchased, they donate free shoes or a free pair of shoes to somebody in Africa or whatever. So Tom's has figured out a way to get people to buy these, in my opinion, pretty ugly, pretty basic, pretty cheap shoes at really crazy prices. Why? Because there's kind of like a social justice is the wrong word, but you know what I mean? There's kind of like a social component behind it. Look at the TV show Shark Tank and how many times Lori or Mark or whoever else has given somebody a deal not really because they love the product as much as because they like the person who's selling the product or they like the story behind the product or where the product invention came from. Like if somebody has a passionate story about their kid had allergies and that's why they came up with this product, like that's something all the sharks tend to get behind. Why? Because a lot of times people buy from the person more so than they actually buy the product. And then lastly, why is things like free trade coffee and fair market type businesses so successful? And not all of these are a perfect example of what your About Us page can do, but I mean, if you do have a business that somehow supports the community or gives back, definitely share that in your About Us page because that's something that people get behind. But really, to some extent, people want to support people like them. I'll share with you guys a similar story. So earlier this summer, I was at something called the Long Grove Apple Fest. It's in Long Grove, Illinois, maybe about 45 minutes outside of Chicago. If any of you guys are familiar with Illinois, it's sort of out by like Schaumburg, Des Plaines type area, somewhere out there. I forget exactly. But anyhow, I went out there. They got food, they got drinks, they got bands, they got vendors. And I was walking around drinking some beers, looking at some shops, and I saw there was a shop called, I want to say it's called Grown Up Kid Stuff. And they sell basically chocolate sauces, but chocolate sauces more geared towards an adult palate. So like chocolate with chili powder, chocolate with jalapenos, all types of chocolate sauces, right? Mexican hot chocolate. And the stuff was really expensive. For like a little glass bottle of it, it was like $10. Now, even at the grocery store, like a high-end or luxury or deluxe, whatever you want to call it, chocolate, is maybe going to run you, $5, $8? I mean, it was very expensive. I tend to be a pretty cheap person or frugal person, and I don't particularly even like chocolate. But I went up to the stand, I was just trying stuff, and the lady let me try 4 chocolates, and very friendly, talked to me all about her store, talked to me about how they started in their garage or at their home kitchen, and they've expanded. Then they started renting a commercial kitchen. Then they expanded and got their own place, and how they came up with the recipes and everything else. And this woman was so passionate about her business and everything that I wound up buying a chocolate sauce from her. I still have not opened the thing up, so I have a $10 jar of chocolate sauce that I probably will never wind up eating. Now that I think about it, I should probably give it to somebody as like a Christmas gift or something. My mom's birthday's coming up. Maybe I'll send it to her. But The point is I bought it kind of for two reasons. A, to support small business, and B, because basically I was kind of impressed with how passionate this lady was about her business and her chocolate, and just kind of so wrapped up in the story that I was like, whatever, $10 to support this lady and what she's doing works for me. And I bought the chocolate sauce. And that's just kind of an example of, if you have an About Me page or an About Us page that actually gets across your company and who you guys are, I think you're going to get a lot of people to buy from you, right? Be authentic. Think about businesses like college painters. Another example, if there were two college students who started a landscaping business, the first has a page and a descriptor like, we are Pro Cut Landscape, leading landscaper in the southwest suburbs. We do mowing, trimming, and mulch. And a second kid says something like, I'm a hardworking college student landscaping this summer to earn money for tuition. I'm hardworking and experienced and will take the same pride in your lawn as I do on my parents' house. Now, this is just a silly story I threw together. But personally, I'm going to try to help out the second kid who's trying to pay his way through college. I like his story. I can relate to it. I did the same thing. The other is just kind of the regular old corporate jargon I'm going to find on every other landscaping site. And that kind of brings me to my next point. And my next point is everybody's trying to be bigger than they are. Like, there's a lot of Shopify stores where I know for a fact that the owner of the shop is drop shipping shit from like AliExpress or Amazon or eBay or some other site. But they want to come across as like much bigger than they are and very professional and stuff like that. So they'll be like, we are, Zyrtec drones. We sell the best drones in the industry, and our drones are the fastest, and we get our drones from the top drone makers in the country, and they basically got all this, hubbub and nonsense trying to make, they're working out of their bedroom. They're drop shipping drones, which, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with that. But why try to be bigger than you are? I think kind of the new wave of e-commerce is kind of more of a social e-commerce. And I think it's kind of funny. On Shopify, your customers, if they create an account, will actually have a picture of themselves. You have an email where you can contact them. If you do email list building and things like that, you can correspond with them on a regular basis and share with them recent current events in your niche or fun little videos or whatever else. So e-commerce is becoming very social, right? Everything online is social, Web 2.0, a lot of communication. So keep that open communication with your customers and just be authentic. Don't try to be bigger than you are. So I'll give you guys another example with the whole drone thing. Would you rather buy a drone from, we are Zyrtec drones, blah, blah, blah? Or if some kid had a, Jim's drone shop and he was like, hey, I've been interested in drones for about the past 3 to 4 years. I wound up buying a lot of junk drones before I finally found some better drones that are quality and a good bargain for the money. My favorite drone ever is this one. My goal or my aim is to help you guys find a drone that's best suited for you, whether you're an absolute beginner, whether you're looking to step up from your previous drone, or whether you're a professional looking to get into like drone photography or aerial mapping. My goal is to help you find a drone that works best for you. I bought from a lot of vendors and figured out who offers the best drones, and I want to share that with you guys. Like, in the second example, it's much more authentic. You can relate to the person because most people who bought a drone probably bought some drone that's absolute bullshit before they settled on a good one. So just be authentic, be honest, be yourself. And I think it's going to go a long way in terms of getting people to buy from you. So keep it simple, stupid. Customers want to buy from someone with a meaningful and compelling story, i.e. the story I told you about adult kid stuff. Well, this page is often overlooked by many customers. To others, it's extremely important. An example from my business, you'd be surprised, some people don't, it's kind of funny, both sides of the coin. Sometimes I'll put up a message on my website, like maybe me and my business partner are going to be out of the office on Christmas Eve. So I may put up a banner running across the front page of my site, right? And like, we are going to be outside of the office from Christmas Eve until Monday. Please direct any correspondence via email and we'll respond to you on Monday. And without fail, I'll get like 15 emails and a bunch of calls like, I don't know why you're picking up the phone. It says you're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, And it's like, do people not read? But then on the flip side, sometimes I'll have somebody contact me and they'll be like, on line 373 of your FAQ section or your About Us page or your Terms of Service, I noticed that it says this. Is this true? And to be quite honest, sometimes it's out of date, and I just happen to miss something. But there are some people who really dig into your site and really check stuff. And a lot of people, I talk a lot about Amazon and stuff like that, and everybody buys from Amazon, and most people turn to Amazon as soon as they need something. Why? Because they trust Amazon. They know whatever they're going to get, whatever they order is going to be shipped to them quickly. They know if they're not happy with it, there's an easy return process. On smaller individual sites, you don't always know who you're dealing with. Like, is this person going to ship it quickly? Are they going to ship same day? How do they work returns, etc.? And your About Us page is essentially your chance to build trust with that customer, right? And then lastly, don't overthink it. You don't need a mission statement or top 10 values. Just get across to you or your people why you're in this niche, and kind of 3 things you want your customer to know. So if you shipped quickly, if you ship same day, get that across in your About Us page. If you make the return process super easy and you cover return postage, get that across in the About Us section. If you're in a niche like camping or hiking or something that you're really passionate about, tell people why you got into that niche. And in a minute here, I'm going to share a couple of my favorite About Us pages and why I think they're so good. Keep it simple, stupid. Do I have a second page? Maybe I forgot to retitle this. Write in your company's natural voice. Don't try to use fancy words or jargon. So like I said, kind of be authentic. More than just text, quotes, pictures, videos. Don't throw in just random pictures and random shit. Use whatever you're throwing in there to tell a narrative. Be authentic. Everyone seems to want to be corporate and use, the we terms. If it's just you, say I. Sprinkle in some interesting facts about your niche, make it somewhat educational and or entertaining, and share your story and highlight your people. If you and a buddy came together and, if you and your buddy became friends over video games, and you're in the business of selling video games, share that story. Share with people why you're passionate about it. A lot of times on Shark Tank, we hear Mark Cuban or whoever else tell people, find your tribe. And your tribe is basically your niche. People like to buy from people who are like them, who share interests and things like that. So if given a choice, if I can buy, I'll give you guys a story, right? So a while back, a couple buddies of mine wanted to get into beer brewing. So we went to this small little local shop. Actually, it's not that small, but it's called Brew and Grow. You can check them out online, brewandgrow.com, I believe it is. And they sell like weed growing stuff, and they also sell like beer brewing and winemaking stuff. Now, the guy who owned the shop was super nice. He walked us around the store. We're like total novices at brewing beer, so he kind of explained all the equipment to us, what all the equipment was. He told us which types of beer are the easiest to brew. They actually brew, I think, 4 to 6 of their own beers in the store, some from kits and some from scratch. They let us try all the beers, told us about them, made some suggestions for what we could buy. And at the end of it, I thought it was kind of interesting. Me and a buddy of mine had 2 different thoughts. The first thing he said was, hey, I bet you we can get this shit on Amazon a lot cheaper, right? And he's a nice guy and everything, but he's just very matter-of-fact, very business, not the warmest guy, whatever. Me, I'm a little bit different. My first thought after his whole spiel was like, wow, I'm sure I can get this shit cheaper on Amazon, but this guy just spent 40 minutes out of his day walking me around the entire store, showing me everything. And I had one other thought. I thought, if I buy all this stuff from him, and then I get it home and have trouble with it, I'm sure I could call this guy up on the phone and he'd be more than happy to walk me through the stuff. I mean, this might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but to some extent, like, I wouldn't be shocked if the guy offered to come out to my house and help me set all this stuff up. And for that reason, I would buy it from him, right? So when you're thinking about like an online shop, some customers, if you're able to really get across that friendly, helpful, we're one of the same type of person, we're both interested in this topic. If I buy a drone from Jim's drone shop, you remember he was the one from the previous example, but the nice kid who shared his story. If I first flight out, break the propeller, I'm pretty sure Jim's going to be willing to get on the phone with me and help walk me through the repair. Whereas Zyrtec Drones or whoever this mega corporate or at least wannabe mega corporate site is, I don't think they're necessarily going to give a shit about me because it's some kid who's drop shipping drones and doesn't really care about drones, right? So, I mean, be authentic, get across why you're passionate about your business. Like, I'll give you another example of like motorcycles. If I have a choice to buy a motorcycle accessory either from a Chinese drop shipper or a guy who has his own little motorcycle seat shop and shares a story about how he's an avid motorcycle rider, his wife and him really enjoy riding motorcycles together, but she complains about her butt hurting all the time. And that's why he decided to either make his own seat or go out and source the best seats for, whatever motorcycle. I'm going to buy from him over the Chinese dropshipper. And I know not everybody's like me. but enough people are to the point where your About Us page actually means something. So without further ado, I'm going to pause the video for a second. We're going to head over and look at 2 About Us pages that I really liked. Okay guys, so right now I'm going to show you guys first 2 examples of bad About Us pages, right? And this will really highlight the difference and show why this works. So actually first we'll go to this site. It's called Cleansify. And it's actually not a bad built site, right? They actually got a fairly nice looking website, right? Now Cleansify, what do they do? Jet black mineral. Basically it makes your skin healthy or whatever else, right? Well, what if this person doesn't even have an About Us page? They actually went out of their way to delete the About Us page in Shopify. My girlfriend goes through a lot of skincare products and things like that. She had breast cancer for 2 years and was constantly looking for products. You know, the medicine like really fucks up your skin. And she was constantly looking for products that would help her skin. So if she were to start a Shopify store and were to share that story, you know, I suffered with breast cancer for 2 years. Treatments and medication really did a number on my skin. I spent hundreds of dollars and went through God knows how many products trying to find something that worked. And I finally found, you know, Cleansify. That's what, or, you know, either that or that's what led me to design my own product, which would work with my skin and help my skin. And that's why I created Cleansify. Like, that's a really compelling story. It's something that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. Women who've had breast cancer are definitely going to buy her products. And even other women are probably going to be like, oh, well, wow, if it worked for somebody undergoing all those treatments and medicine, well, it's got to work for me. And that type of stuff really works, right? But this one has no About Us page. Let's see what this video is all about. Okay, so I like that they incorporated video into it, but there's no personal story at all here, right? It talks about what the product is, and that's about it. Let's look at another example of an About Us page. This one's from myguitarparts.com. Guitars are complicated objects. They are made of dozens of components, and all these have the potential to be improved and customized. We have a firm belief that everyone should have the opportunity to create their dream guitar, whether it is modifying your current guitar or building your own effect pedal. We have you covered. We were founded by a pair of guitar lovers and modifiers. So get in touch or pick up the things to start modifying and creating. So this guy's off to a good start, right? We were founded by guitar lovers. So I'm guessing it's 2 or 3 buddies who love guitars and decided to share the guitar parts. But the story ends there, right? What if they had a quote in here? What if they had a video of these 2 friends who started My Guitar Parts talking about what inspired them to start it? What if they had a video of one of them playing a guitar? What if they had a video saying, you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys who play guitars are maybe overwhelmed by the prospect of buying new parts and customizing your guitar. It really isn't that hard. And in this quick 2-minute video, I'm going to show you how you can change out the pick guard on your guitar. Or in this 2-minute video, I'm going to show you how you can build your own pedal. It's a lot easier than you thought. There's a lot of stuff that you could do to really, include pictures of the founders, include some clips of you guys playing your guitars. Like, there's so much stuff you can do here, and they were kind of on the right track, and then, towards the end, they kind of dropped the ball, right? Well, now I'm going to show you 2 other About Us pages. This one's for Huckberry. We deliver the coolest gear at the best prices, inspirational stories, and a hell of a lot more to your inbox every week. So first off, they tell you what they do. They have the coolest climbing gear. And if you sign up for their email, you're not only going to get sales emails, you're also going to get cool stories, maybe climbing tips, etc. If you want, you can continue to their Facebook page and learn more about them. But if we continue to scroll down, bootstrapped, profitable, and proud. The action is the juice. So they got a quote in here, like I said, the Huckberry origin story. So here we see it was started by a couple guys in a garage. It was started by 2 friends. They like traveling together. They ride bikes. They have a dog. I'm guessing Huckberry is maybe the dog. But these pictures here aren't just thrown up here just for the hell of having pictures, right? Although it does look nice. This is part of their story. They were 2 friends, founded it 2 friends who like to travel and have a dog, founded it together, right? Quite honestly, I haven't even read this part yet. I just knew right away that this was a good page. 5 years ago, Rich and I were freezing our butts off in a rickety chairlift on the backside of Squaw Valley, and we decided to go for it. So this is what started their business, right? Looking back, we were far too naive to know exactly what it was, but we definitely knew it wasn't cranking out spreadsheets for 90 hours each week for the rest of our lives. Still gaining the courage to leave our safe, lucrative jobs wasn't easy. As Jerry Seinfeld might say it, it was like tipping a vending machine. You don't just push it over, you have to rock it back and forth a few times. Having discussed our idea over countless anchor steams of work, we knew in our bones that Huckberry needed to exist. There were men's stores, so they kind of told you why they started the story, right? There were men's stores for sure, adventure magazines too, yet nothing out there spoke directly to us, 25-year-old guys who lived in the city but lived for the outdoors. And we envisioned a brand that was equal parts store, magazine, and inspiration to help guys suck the marrow out of life. So in the summer of 2010, we left our jobs, invested $10,000 each from our savings to form Huckberry LLC, and set out to scratch our own itch. So here's a picture of them like designing their space. Here's pictures of their first inventory. Very kind of a bootstrapped kind of, this really is two guys who started a business together. We chose the name, okay, so where'd the name from? We chose the name Huckberry because we both loved Mark Twain's adventure of Huckleberry Finn and thought Huckberry was the perfect totem for the spirit of adventure we wanted our brand to embody. More practically speaking, Huckberry.com was available on GoDaddy for $9.98, so I like that they kind of make themselves into real people, right? It's not, we hired, we spent $1,000 hiring a team of people to come up with a perfect name. It was, shit, the name was available on GoDaddy for under $10, so we bought it. We hit the trade show circuit and sold our favorite brands on our vision. Most looked at our self-designed business cards, smiled with amusement and said no, but enough said yes, presumably taking a chance on us because of where we were, but because of where we were going. Inspired by 37 Signals, now Basecamp, Bootstrap, Profitable and Proud blog post series, we decided not to pursue venture capital. We wanted to build our business on our terms. Towards Patagonia and its organic, let my people go surfing brand, and away from the VC-fueled or bus brands that were chasing it. So I think this is kind of cool. We talk a lot about content marketing. They actually have a blog that's kind of the content to drive a lot of their sales. So we hustled working out of our apartments. We read Photoshop for Dummies cover to cover. So these aren't some guys who were like internet wizards who set this up. Like they read Photoshop for Dummies, right? And designed Huckleberry 1.0. Our friend's younger brother Jimmy helped code it between classes during his junior year at UC Berkeley. Our first website wasn't pretty, but it worked, and as a mentor once told us, you always throw out your first pancake. In April 2011, we flipped the switch. Actually, I'm going to use that quote for a new post I'm making. In April 2011, we flipped the switch and Huckleberry.com went live. More pictures. Looked like they had a launch party. Our community began to grow slowly. We couldn't afford to... Okay, so it's a long story, right? But you get the point. And I think this says a lot about it. They have 33 comments, so how many comments does this have? No, nothing, right? Because it doesn't inspire me at all. It's fucking 5 sentences about guitars. This, has me wanting to support these guys. These guys left their jobs. These guys read Photoshop for Dummies, and they fucking threw up the site, and I think that's fucking awesome, right? And a lot of other people did too, and that's why they have all these comments about what they're doing, and that's why this is a Good About Us page. Let's look at this one, the Xanderobe, Sydney, LA, and New York City, so it's like a men's clothing thing. The history of Xanderobe, let's see what they got here.
The step was Xanderobe. So both Lath and I were in other industries prior to creating the company. This is our first foray into fashion.
Having started the business, I kind of fell into it. I was in IT, hated it. I was working in corporate, hated it.
For me, I think it didn't matter what.
Okay, you guys can watch the video on your own if you want. It's xanderobe.com. But you get the point, right? Like, let me...
Like it didn't have it.
It's working at retail, we really like it.
Which was Cardboard City. We picked and packed from that apartment for all.
Okay, so basically they're talking about how they weren't happy with the designs in stores, blah, 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 so they started their own company. They have pictures. Macklemore rocks their gear. This kind of helps set, like Nate Robinson, other people, this kind of helps set the brand image. They have social media pictures from people who wear their gear. Our crew extends far beyond those that work at the brand. We're massive fans and admirers of this super talented creative group, and proud to call them close friends and family. Macklemore, Diplo, Schoolboy Q. So they talk about all the people who wear their stuff. They show some of the shops where their stuff is sold. find your fit. They've created a style guide to help fit your stuff right, which I imagine is part of the reason why they started the brand, to get stuff to fit right, etc. Get it in store or online. If you got questions, you can hit them up. So I thought they had a pretty nice About Us page too. So this one's by far my favorite, the Huckberry one, because it's such a bootstrap story and everything. But you guys get the point. You know, I guess the first part of this video, I could have probably just shown you guys a bad page and a good page and left it at that, but I made the whole slideshow thing. So hopefully this gets across the point to you that the About Us page isn't just 3 sentences you slap together, but like, our site is this and we sell cameras. Like, talk about your interest in photography. Talk about why you wanted to sell cameras. Talk about why your camera store is better than other camera stores. You know, you guys get the point. About Us pages can help build a rapport with the customer, can help build trust with the customer, and can help get a customer to buy from you as opposed to just going to Amazon or eBay and buying it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on About Us pages. Drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.